Hello everyone. Today we're being joined by someone very special, and it's a long introduction that I'll try to go through very fast. She's a former NASA rocket scientist, entrepreneur, aerospace engineer, CEO of STEMBoard, and that is one of the fastest growing companies in America. I'm being joined by Aisha Bowe. Aisha, pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Two things that I didn't mention in the initial remarks were that you're also a motivational speaker and a relationship expert. How do you describe yourself? Does it come in this whole list of things, or do you describe yourself in a different way if someone asks you who you are?
I always like to start out with my beginnings. I'm somebody who never thought that I was going to be successful at life, nor did I ever think that I would actually be here. And as part of the trip here in India, I'm delighted to be able to tell people and encourage them that it's not about where you start, it's how you finish. I went from being someone who didn't want to go to college to graduating from a phenomenal university, who didn't want to study engineering to becoming an aerospace engineer. And for not knowing what I wanted to do, I started working at NASA, where I spent several years of my career. And so for me, it's very much not so much about the things that I've accomplished, but about the process of instilling courage and hope and determination in others.
As you mentioned that you know, at one point you were not sure what you wanted to do next, and then from there you also mentioned NASA. Now that is a journey. And why I'm mentioning this again is because for a lot of people, you know, there is a lot of ambiguity at a certain stage in life that you don't know what you want to do next. You've been very vocal about the fact that you didn't score very well in high school, or you went to a community college, the GPA was a certain 2.313. There you go.
Yeah, 1.3.
1.3. How did you find direction to reach till where you have and achieve all that you have?
As a global society, there's an immense amount of pressure placed on young people to know what it is that they want to do before they know who they are. And as a young student who wants to perform, it can become so easy to be overwhelmed by all of it, to the point where you actually do not perform and you do not do well. It's important to not mistake crumbling under the pressure or feeling lost as an indication of who you are and what you can actually do in life. And so for me, I'm proud to let people know where I started, because what I realized was that if I could take all the pressure, and if I could take all of my fear, and if I could put it aside and focus on only my dreams and focus on only the things that I wanted to achieve, I could do so much. And that's really what I want to remind people of, is if you failed, it doesn't matter. You've learned a lesson from that failure. Get up, try again, and focus only on what you know that you can do. And don't be surprised when you're not just good, you're great.
Focus on what you can do, and then from there you take it to greatness, and then at least that gives you some kind of direction. And that's how you guided yourself from ambiguity to achieving this long list that I went through at the beginning. Coming to what you're aiming to achieve now in space, you're going to soon be an astronaut. Am I right when I say that?
Yes.
All right. And what do you hope to experience in space as and when that happens?
One of the things I'm looking forward to is the wonderful view of the Earth from space. I spoke to a group of students the other day at Girls up in India, and we're at the point of the presentation where they really wanted to understand what was motivating me. And what I said was that when you look at Earth from space, there are no boundaries, there are just people. And I feel right now we're at an interesting time in history where we can have a conversation that previously I may not have ever actually been able to get here to have with you. And as a woman in science, in space, and technology, to be able to come invited by the US Embassy to tour 5 cities in India to talk about my career, that is an honor I don't take lightly. And I want to be able to say that I want to inspire other people, not just to see the Earth from space, but maybe to see the Earth from Mars, maybe to see the Earth from Moon, maybe to be the individuals who determine how they're going to build the next billion-dollar company to change the future of not only India, but the world.
So what comes across from your answers is that your thought process isn't boxed in, you know, it's vast. You really let yourself achieve or think about achieving all that you can. You know, it's not limited to space. You're even thinking about Mars and other possible locations from where, you know, the view is going to be far vast and more that can be achieved. Coming to India's achievements in space and India's space program. Your thoughts on that?
Incredible. I'm a huge fan. I can't help but just admire the engineering and just the excellence. I had an opportunity to be at IIT the other day. As someone who graduated from Michigan Aerospace, there are a number of colleagues that I know that are working in the field that are not only just phenomenal, but there are multi-billion-dollar companies around the world who are led by graduates of that institution. And so when I look at what India is going to accomplish in space, I'm excited. The level of quality, the level of efficiency, the level of ingenuity, it is just inspiring, and I'm delighted to be here at this time.
There are over 70 countries with space programs today, and private players have also come into the fold. What are your thoughts on the space race in today's day and age?
I think that the market benefits when there's a lot of competition. And what we've seen is a rise in commercial space that is innovating faster than any other previous period in history. I come from a background in the Bahamas. My family, my father specifically, immigrated from the Bahamas in the 80s to pursue higher education in the United States. The Bahamas does not have a space flight program, and yet I have an opportunity to go to space.
Wow.
That is what commercial brings us. And so for me to be able to then take that, go out to the world and say, you can work in a government-funded program like NASA, you can become a commercial astronaut, and you can take that mission and you can inspire the world, it's just an unbelievable joy, because it would not have been possible without the rise of these commercial companies. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for all the astronauts that are going to fly from countries that don't have space programs. I'm excited for all the people that are going to see people flying and create space programs. I'm excited for all of the entrepreneurs who are going to not wait and develop technologies that can further human exploration, Earth, Moon, Mars, and beyond.
So Aisha, when one speaks about something which is very difficult, one usually refers to rocket science. Like if someone's not getting something, one usually says it's not rocket science. So, why is it so difficult for you? So that's the yardstick of what's most difficult. How long did it take you to become a rocket scientist? Because here you are one, you've achieved what the entire world would perhaps think of the most difficult thing to achieve. How long did it take? What was the journey like?
My journey from NASA, or to NASA rather, was fueled by a desire to pursue excellence and better versions of me, where I took on increasing challenges. From being an aerospace student, NASA was the next logical outcome. But once I was there and I looked around, I wanted to see more women. I wanted to see more people who looked like me. I wanted to see more representation from other countries. And what I realized was that if I had the power to inspire someone from 13 years old to become a practicing engineer, I could build an entity that could not only do that, but I could work on tech challenges that I was really focused on. And so today, I've owned an engineering company for the last 11 years. We've been twice recognized as one of the fastest growing companies in America. I bootstrapped that from $1 in a dream, and I took our R&D dollars and I invested it into a product company that I've raised $2 million for in the seed round, and I'm scaling. We've serviced students in nearly 10 countries. We've sold nearly 10,000 units of product, and that is only the beginning of what I'm excited to achieve.
There was something that you were showing us a little earlier before we started rolling. In case you'd like to demonstrate,
Yes.
What is this, and please take us through.
So this is a lingo coding kit. It is the first lesson. And what's really exciting to me about creating this box was that in 2019, I went on a speaking tour in South Africa. And I spoke to people who said, don't write a book, show us how to learn a skill. I went back, I created this company, and the idea is that while there's a lot of focus on software, a lot of things around us are hardware. Your phone is hardware, cameras are hardware. So how do we put that exposure into a compact form factor and deliver it to people around the world? That's lingo. This lesson is focused on autonomous cars, but our most recent lessons are focused on small spacecraft. It's building Earth monitoring, sensing capabilities, gathering data, and doing it at a level where high school students can have the opportunity to build, develop confidence, and make decisions earlier about their future careers.
So they wanted you to tell them a method by which they can develop their skills. They didn't just want another book to read.
Correct.
And who better do that than you, who's genuinely achieved things yourself by going beyond the ambits of what perhaps your circumstances allowed you at that point when you were coming up. And of course, at this point, all that you've achieved and all that I listed out earlier, it's been an absolute pleasure hearing your journey. Thank you so much for making time for us and joining us here on WION. This was Aisha Bowe, absolutely inspirational for anyone who wants to go beyond their means and go to a point where they are inspirational for every part of the world, wherever they go. Thank you so much, Aisha.
Thank you.